This is Oliveira to kickstart this TvZ best of 3. Let's see what goes down, as we also have on the other side of the map the Blue Zerg Scarlet. Win here would be big for her. Sort of her group stage in terms of the matches that we've seen, at least, would be giving you some good promise moving forwards. Obviously, if you want a chance of finishing first place in this group, you must beat Oliveira, because you know he has beaten everyone else, so he would go 4-0. So if you want first place, this is a must-win. You can still make playoffs without being first place, but obviously beating Oliveira would generally help you along that pathway anyways. Let's get ourselves into this then, see what is going to happen. So take a few moments, get ready to rumble. Couple of barracks coming through, so we are going to be seeing the Reaper-based opening here as our starting point. That's going to be where we kick things off, so get that on the way, just to start with. Let's see how this goes. Let's see what's going to go down as we get everything underway for the first few moments. So we've seen ourselves, obviously, these G-Reapers are going to be popping. Depot's on the way through. Hatch, gas, and pool coming up on the side of Scarlet. So nothing too well to begin with. Again, important game. We're going to see all of Scarlet's games. Not quite back-to-back, but from here on out as well. We've got 6 matches left in this group. And 4 of them, including this one, are going to be Scarlet, so it'll be important to note for sure. Going to be fun to see how, like I say, how she's playing today. I actually think it's a pretty good group for Scarlet, because I think typically Scarlet and ZVP especially looks great, and this is obviously her only non-ZVP matchup, so even if she maybe doesn't succeed too much here, she's still going to have an okay time in the group, because there's still possibilities for her to play some better matchups after. Like I say, I definitely think we're in for a fairly fun one. As the Reapers are going to go nibbling away, and let's see again if Scarlet can handle this early game pressure. I think I said it the other day when I was casting WTL, Scarlet. Her weakness in ZVT oftentimes is just getting through the first few minutes of the game without taking too much damage and starting to take too many shots or having too many problems, etc., right? So, see what happens. As Reaper's just going to go pinging around. Hatchery will take some more damage as well. And we just have those Reapers continuing to go after this base, so that Hatchery continue to take shot after shot after shot. Link speed coming up, over halfway done. The couple hatches still building. Drones are still on the way through. And Reapers are going to try to get rid of this. And they will succeed. And we force the Evo chamber as well, as the drone wants to try and live as well. But that's probably not going to happen. So that's going to be a cancelled Hatchery. Scarlet builds their base on the right side pretty quickly anyways. So she gets back on track with that one pretty soon. As our Reapers come back over here, a couple of Queens are in position. The Reapers will be there as well. And continue to hit this hatch. And now jumping into the main base. We do have Ling speed, so this feels like a fairly scary play, especially because Queens on the low ground will hit the Reapers a little bit as we come out. The Queens initially were blocking those Reapers in with that mineral positioning, but now we're going to kill 2. Target fire would have killed 3. We did not actually manage to go for that there, though. Unfortunately, that was just a missed opportunity. However, we're going to clean up anyways. The Lings with Ling speed going to be good enough. One final Queen in the main base is also going to be the defense necessary, and that is the Reapers all shut down. So they did well, but now all of that pressure is gone. All of that opportunity to do anything else is just completely denied, and so you have to work from that sort of point onwards over this next little while. Few Marines are going to start knocking down on the rocks, and you see more Lings are going to just throw themselves at the front as well. Plenty of Marines coming through. Obviously, that is going to be the... I still feel like map control kind of taken by Scarlet, though. I feel like this puts her in a pretty good position here already. Let's just have that Stimpack starting up. And again, a few Marines and the Medivacs all coming in as well. So just get a little bit of everything on the go right now. A few more Queens and the drones all building in. And everything settles as those Marines are going to be there. And again, just going to push the Zerglings back for a couple of moments. Got that stimp back coming through. That's going to be finishing very, very shortly here. And a couple more engineering bays are building up as well, so they continue to come by. And that's going to be the upgrades for Oliveira as he goes with these first medevacs, eager to go across the map and try and get a dropping as we head towards the upper left. So again, we really do work our way to the top side of the map just for the moment. We get that on the move right about now. Things will be chasing. The Marines are going to come about with the medevacs as well. He's just going to dive forward. The hatchery will take a few shots of damage. Queen will take a few shots. Lings will also maybe want to try and dive in here also. Medevac's now lifting up. I'm going to jump into the main base instead. So into the main we go. A few more of these Marines unloading out off over to the corner. There's a lot more Lings coming through, and just going to be having those running straight into those Marines, which are going to be picking back up into the medevacs immediately. With a single Zergling up down on the bottom. Also continuing to get set up as our medevacs unload to the top side one more time. Might as well grab a couple of these creep tumors again, knocking those down. A couple of Lings getting picked away at as well. We got our melee upgrades coming up, the 1-1 upgrades and combat shields coming through on the side of Oliveira. Let's continue to bring that in. Hydrogen coming through. Extra Lings and drones are still producing as well. Still got those melee upgrades. A bit of everything on the way up right now as our Marines still gathering up. You see a bit more Marine tank pulling back over this side. And again, the hydrogen coming through with the armory and the factory continuing to produce. There's a lot of Lings gathering in the center of the map here from Scarlet, so she is going to get those all collected up, ready to perhaps counterattack as Oliveira splits directions with his attacks. Scarlet has great creeps, so that's going to keep some of these attacks back, or at least, delayed a little bit. Only a siege tank here defensively, so this third base is already in trouble. We do pull the SCVs away. That will minimize a lot of the damage that could be done as the Marines continue to fight. A few more of those SCVs continue through. Marines going to get back on track. I mean, 11 SCVs going down already. We are losing drones, however, so Scarlet does need to do something. She loses quite a few Lings here running into those units at the very end as well, which is also a bit of a concern. She lost her fourth base. I mean, it was good in some regards, Scarlet, and it was pretty bad in others. Now, she is still on a pretty good drone count, 67 to 52, and she will have Hydras popping now as well, so her army is going to be getting a... just into an even better spot, basically, so that continues to improve. That's going to be seen again. Hydras and Queens continue to gather up for the moment. The Queens pushing back, those Marines getting chased away. And just seeing the, again, 2-2 upgrades still on the way through for the moment. Keep all of that on the roll here. Marines get by. The hatchery will indeed go down. A couple of Hydras still coming up as well. So again, a bit more damage being dealt. We got ourselves the infestation pit also on the way through. So get that production continuing by for the moment. And yeah, I mean... what I don't like for Scarlet is her supply doesn't look pretty. What I do like for Scarlet is her drone count is good, her creep is amazing, and that alone might be able to buy her enough time to set her up into enough positions where she can see a lot of success during this. So, a lot of possibilities right there as the Bioforce comes through. We got ourselves those couple creep teamers still spreading out. The Queens will continue to press forward with those, try and get those in position as the Marines are going to stand up, stand strong, and push back against the Queens once again as well. The rest of these Marines coming about, the siege tanks will be pulling away over to the left-hand side also for the moment. We stem on through, and a couple more of these creep teamers just already being knocked down. 2-2 upgrades continue to produce in. The Hydralisks will knock their way through this set of rocks. Marines is going to stem up in a big way. Tank going to get set up behind this as well. We just do dive on in. There's a lot of Queens going down. Oliveira's going to have way too much power. When you're playing with those Hydras, you need to make sure that they've got something to protect them, because so much for the generosity. Appreciate it as always. Thank you very much. Scarlet in the bottom right hand side And the Shopify Rebellion will be looking to try and find her footing again in this series now. Heading into this game number 2. This is in the top left. Our red Teran player is going to be Oliveira. Get this on the way. Alright, so just get things underway for Oceanborn. See what our players have in store for us here. Oliveira really put himself in that good spot once again. As CV heads down to the bottom right hand side, we do have the Reaper and the Orbital Command Center. All of that continues through. Give ourselves the more drones building up as well. So again, just a bit of everything coming through for the moment. The CV continues in towards the natural here for a moment or two. Alright then, SCV patrols out on the bottom. You get that on the way up for the moment. Just gonna see a couple of queens continue to come by. Reaper is just gonna fire and a few lings will take some shots. So again, we go back and forth here just a little bit. Some damage being dealt for these early stages. The grenade goes down, a drone and the queen gonna take a bit of a bop right there. Gonna be seeing our link speed coming about. Just gonna be seeing our Queen, Overlord, etc. all continuing through for the moment. So all of that coming by. Again, a couple of Hellions popping out of this factory. Command center continues into play as well. A few more drones coming up. The circling speed is still building. Again, our Queens continue through. Our drones continue to produce. And that Liberator is on the way as well. A couple of Hellions still in production. As our Hellion's going to come forwards and just going to snipe away at that Queen. The Queen taking a few shots of damage. It's going to be Oliveira's first chance to get aggressive here in the next few moments. Get some damage done. Again, a couple of Queens and a few Lings coming about. Just got ourselves the stim pack coming through as well. So you've seen the, oh my god, why is that still happening? I thought I turned that off like 5 times now. Freaking ant-legion noises. Yay. Alright. Anyways, we do have ourselves the, few Hellions coming around, a Reaper as well, a couple of Queens coming across. I'm just going to chase those Hellions out for the moment, and also just pushing those back around. And again, Oliveira not heavy on the Reapers or anything this game, obviously playing the reacted Hellion style instead. Going to be mixing that up a little bit. What I'm impressed by is A, the fact that I can't figure out why it's still making the noise, but B, the fact that people are still doing the things to make it make the noise in the first place. Like, this sponsorship was, you know, finished over a week ago. Like, that is what is kind of baffling me at the moment, as a couple of drones go down. Queens continue through, the Hellions will be chased about. And again, just seeing 11 drones, a couple of Evo chambers there building. These Hellions are getting into dangerous spots. On both sides, it really obviously depends on how it plays out. In this case, it's looking very good for Scarlet, who will just pin those Hellions up against a wall and will get them killed. So those Hellions not able to succeed too heavily there. We otherwise have 1-1 upgrades coming through on the side of Oliveira, a few more Marines and medevacs coming about. Extra drones in production as well. And there's tons of creep from Scarlet. Again, that's the one thing that she's always extremely good at, always able to just fire up a storm of creep spread and able to just get that out on the map, push that forwards, and really take so many advantages with it as well, right? It really does so much to control your opponent when that creep is just all over the place, so there's a massive benefit to that for sure. A little bit of a push from Oliveira. This really has to be the creep clearing squad. Can't really let this be too much more than that, as Marines and our Hellions come moving around. The HUD then continues through. Just seeing the setup will go across this ramp, try and push into this base. Scarlet initially was looking to counterattack, but she has now already pulled those lings back, looking as though they're going to run onto the tanks. The first tank quite far back without support. And now as we pull back to deal with that first tank being attacked, the second tank gets jumped on from the right-hand side, so these Queens are able to make a move forward as well, so they're also going to be able to get a go-ahead. They're also going to be able to do very well. Missile upgrades all coming up, the groove spines still producing also. And just seeing our Marines going to get themselves a little bit more creep spread on top of all of that as well, so a little bit more being done. Our Ling Queen still producing on through here. Missiles, Carapace, all building. Infestation Pit coming up as well. And the extra few Hydras still producing through 2 upgrades, also on the way right now. Obviously, Oliveira looking to just try and keep momentum. Scarlet has some money to spend. She just spent a little bit of it, but yeah, more money to be spent as well as the Drilling Claws coming about. The 2 upgrades still coming in. Marines, Widow Mines, and additional barracks producing through as we speak. And it's a lot of Marines stimming over the right-hand side, going towards a bunch of Ling Hydra. Marines will continue to fight out, and the Lings will push back. The groups of units there. Best is still coming up. The drones are still producing. A 2-2 continuing by as we go. And still just got those Marines trying to find a little bit extra damage. Just trying to find as much as we can get as a hatchery cancels. Another drone gets picked off. Still got that burrow coming through. Just for the current moment with infestors on the way. Opportunities there for sure for Scarlet. Just trying to make our way up to that hive where I have to imagine there's going to be some form of... Well, first of all, Vipers are likely going to be a big part of this, but also potential to move in towards the Lurker Den and hence Lurker upgrades. When you're playing so Hydra heavy initially, usually that just feels like an inevitability. We don't see a Lurker Den on the way just yet, so we'll wait a little bit before talking about those. Obviously, it's a lot to invest into all at once, so you want to, not spread yourself too thinly, just investing into this, that, and whatever. When the Teran makers come across and kill you before you really get going on any of it, if you are being overly, aggressive in that regard. Hydras will knock down this set of rocks, opening up this space on the right-hand side, a ramp that they'll be able to run down. Widow Mines burrow up. Queen's going to get busted down as well. So a couple of shots right there. We'll be seeing our Marines diving into the far right-hand side too. Just going to be picking off that base. Oliveira definitely still controlling the map in a big way. So I'm excited for the Infestors to come out, because that's going to give Scarlet a little bit of control back. Going to make it more difficult to just wander around the map as a clumped-up Teran player. Obviously my voice dies a bit there watching those drones go down, because that feels as though we're losing some opportunity as Scarlet. Economy like that being denied is... It's just not a good time for you. You're trying to invest into Bane speed and so many other things, and you're not getting much out of this. Even that fungal growth comes at the cost of an Infestor, which again is just more expensive than you'd like it to be. Which is really not great. The Marines loading back up on the high ground. Hydras are just still pushing on through. Fast forward, a couple of depots will be shot at. Again, melee upgrade, plus 3 carapace coming about. Ultra Cavern is on the way up. Hydra's going to go towards another couple of depots over on the top side as well. Just going to push through there. Hydra's and Ling's still pressing through the Infestor, ready to try and drop a fungal growth, perhaps next couple of moments. Widow Mine goes off. Another Widow Mine actually heads straight into the center of that army. The Scarlet attacks through. I just can't see this really having ended up being a success. Looked as though she wanted a fungal growth then. She gets it in the end, but a couple of units actually allows the Ghost to go down because it can't get away from the Hydra, so it works out. Just interesting that she is genuinely kind of committed here to the idea of, hey, like, I'm playing like Hydra Infestor, my next step is not going to be some sort of upgrade from the Hydras into Lurkers. It's actually going to be the Ultralisks. That, to me, is kind of massive, especially when you've been playing missile upgrades instead of melee throughout the game. What an interesting choice from Scarlet to just sort of not go towards the Lurkers, which maybe she feels as though... Well, honestly, I don't really know. I'm not sure how you really look at this, right? As you can just see the Hydras coming back through, the few Marines getting chased away, the Medevac's very nearly going down, but they're just about to escape for now. And the Marines and the Ghosts are going to continue back into this mineral line once again. Spore Crawler already being picked up, and probably we're going to be able to jump onto this hatchery too. So this hatch taking a whole bundle of damage just to start things off. Medevac's lift off. 7 drones went down. The Hydra's continuing through. A few more Marines are dropping. Again, it is Oliveira that is doing decently when it comes to those moments, but Scarlet is on higher supply, and she is maxed, well, close to maxed, and she has some money in the bank as well. So when we actually slow down and look at it for a few moments, I actually quite like where Scarlet stands. Especially because, again, the creep spread is so good for her. And this time, I don't think she's just going to die to not being ready to deal with, like, the massive Marines versus those Hydras. This time, the creep really should help. And already, as you're starting to try and just clean up creep in the center, Scarlet then knows where the army is, instantly utilizes that information to take a push on the left side. We lose an orbital. The planetary stays alive, so that is a big plus. We're just going to be seeing a couple of fungal growths will chain onto those Marines, onto those Ghosts. Hydras and Banelings continue to pull through. Got that Hydra Bane coming around. Another massive fungals coming down. Ghosts and Marines getting heavily caught on that one. This army trying to chase back. The Infestors being pushed away. Again, those 5 additional Ultras still coming through right here. That's going to be something else just to help Scarlet try and power through this army. Oliveira needs to keep these bases alive. He's not really rich enough to allow bases just to go down without having some kind of fight back, right? So, love to kind of see that a little bit as our Ultras go diving through. Just going to be seeing the Ghosts firing up. Just going to be seeing the Hydras coming back around. Again, the Libs, Fusion Core, Starport, all of that is being built right now from Oliveira, so we are going to be seeing him going into a lot of ranged Liberators. Going to be a lot of play in that in the next few moments. That is for sure certain. That is almost a guarantee at this stage. Obviously, those Liberators can be very good against these Ultras, also against Hydras. They just do so well zoning, and they really, obviously, they delete Hydras, they can chunk through the Ultras. So what does Scarlet do about it? Well, obviously a lot of the anti-Liberator is either you build Corruptors or you just have Vipers to abduct those Libs out of position. That works up until a certain amount of Libs where, you know, if there's too many, then obviously abducting forever is not necessarily a realistic way to kind of play that out, right? So we'll see. Still got that advanced ballistics coming through. A couple more Libs being produced as well. And the army of Scarlet back over to the left-hand side where we have the opportunity to perhaps go crashing into a couple of bases. Snipes across the board. Those first few Ultras going down. Good start of the fight from Oliveira. I feel like he got a bunch of snipes off for free there. Definitely taking advantage early. So you just keep pushing through. The Bane's actually able to reach towards some of the Bioforces, giving the Ultras a chance just to focus on the siege tanks. Oliveira does lose a kind of chunk of supply. He's going to lose a few SCVs. Scarlet still seems to be somewhat controlling in this game. Number 2 here on Oceanborn at this point in time. Seeing a hatchery coming down to the bottom left. Scarlet really is overtaking the map. I mean, she is really absolutely making this a very difficult situation for the Teran player. I mean, if you take base after base, you can really afford to throw units at your opponent pretty much just repeatedly. There's not really much need to kind of calm that down or to stop that, so that's kind of exactly what we're seeing. You throw some units at them, some SCVs go down. It's going to be more and more difficult for the Teran to rebuild. That is what you want to keep going for pretty much every single time here. Ghost in the bio helping to take down another base. Lings and Festus still gathering up. We're just going to see the rest of this army from Oliveira going back down to the south. Just making a little bit of a move. A couple more shots coming out. Just going to be seeing the medevac going down. It's going to be having ourselves the again +3 melee coming about as well. So +3 melee continues through. Hydra's still coming up. Ling's still in production. Great Aspire on the way as well. So we bring all of this through. Again, just going to be seeing ourselves the +3 vehicle plane coming about. A couple more Liberators come up as well. You actually see a couple fungals going down. Marines, Marauders getting caught in that. Yeah, and that's where the defense of Oliveira may just come from. We do lose this hatchery command center, however. So again, the problem for him is Scarlet is just taking the whole map. You know, if Oliveira can't even take the few bases near him, it generally speaks for itself in terms of the realm of problems it causes. Fungal on some of these Ghosts would be nice, because right now the Hydra's kind of committed through there, and the Hydra's got shredded. A lot of snipes coming down initially really helping with that. Ouch. That was actually very bad. And all of a sudden, we have got ourselves a Scarlet who is maybe... I don't want to say she's in trouble, because she still has a crap ton of creep all over the map, but, you know, fights like that are expensive, and rebuilding, she doesn't have, like, the biggest bank in the world straight away, so these are potential problems. As you just see again, the Ghosts, the Libs continue to produce. A few more SCVs coming out. Fire Force back to the top of the map just for the moment here. The Lib Ghost combination is going to be very hard to kill, but I still feel like Scarlet has the space required on the map and the bases required on the map to be able to make that happen. SCV still getting nibbled at by the Zergling as well, so a little bit more damage done there. The Bioforce continues to pull upwards for the moment too. Just trying to stay in as safe a place as we possibly can, as Hydras, Vipers, and Festers make their way back up north. Got a little abduct off. Liberator goes down. Just seeing ourselves the hatchery coming through, the group spread continuing up. And I mean, Scarlet just builds up to max and is going to be ready to go again. What are we missing from Scarlet that we might like to see that would be, you know, genuinely a very good improvement on this situation? I mean, she has a few spellcasters, but arguably a couple more might not hurt. I don't know if she really needs to do anything too different, honestly, apart from just try and find some, you know, better fights than what she had previously. Some of these fights have been a little bit brutal, as the Lane Bane is going to go diving forwards, onwards towards those Ghosts in the bio. Not quite going to get through as we think about diving in a second time. The Brace continue to get set up, and again, Oliveira just trying to play this extremely defensive game. He's completely contained, he's completely punched back. But all it takes is, you know, one fight that allows you to then move forward and take another base, and then you can just sort of begin to leapfrog the game forward into your favor from that point onwards. It doesn't take a lot to suddenly find success. as long as you can keep on surviving. And with the defensive setup, it's always going to be rough fights for Scarlet. Microbial Shroud even going down. Do we have enough Hydras just to push on through? We might. If he can push on through and actually just get rid of all these Liberators. The Ghosts are still being forced back by Banelings, so they're not just able to kind of stand and snipe against the Hydras either. I mean, on the tail end, you get quite a few kills because of the Ghosts. And the supply is only 20 apart, and again, it's not like Scarlet has a massive bank. She only has 74 drones in the game. She has bases, you know, in some locations that could probably do with a few more drones on them. And if she had a few more drones, she could rebuild more quickly and just go immediately. And I think that's the difference that would really make the difference. Because right now, Oliveira is having enough time to slowly rebuild back up himself. He doesn't have the bases just to be on like a massive workers, although this is a great catch, finding those ghosts to the top side. The few being cloaked up is going to be a problem for a moment or two longer. And then the Overseer shows up, and every ghost just died. Still, somehow, supplies are fairly comparable. But obviously, replacing ghosts is a massive expense. And eventually, Oliveira is not going to have the bases required to keep on replacing all of these tech units. Because you're just being mining off of these same 5 bases for 22 minutes now. There is a point at which you just need something a little extra. The team is going down, some damage being done. Our Hydra's going to grab the medevac as well. It's just going to nab that pretty much immediately here. And we continue through with a few additional infestors as well for the moment, so a little bit more spellcasting available as Scarlet's still very reliant on what is a very high Hydra count. And well, a good fungal gets a couple of ghosts back. Actually just one killed, but still not too bad all said and done. It's just coming up that ramp, knocking down even more creep spread. Again, we have access to potentially a new base if we can get further along here as Oliveira. That is quite clearly his goal, to see a base not being able to have before now. Prestige Reserve, a couple of ducks come through. Just going to be seeing Lib, Tank, Lib, all going to be brought through straight away. Just going to be seeing the rest of these units chasing forwards. Link's trying to go after some of those ghosts as well, so just trying to find a bit of damage right away there. And Ghost still continuing through. Medevac and Marines are on the way out. Bringing all of those up. Plenty more Hydras on the way. I mean, at what point is too many Hydras too many? We've lost 136 Hydras this game, compared to the 392 Zerglings. It's quite the comparison. It's not often you see like one Hydra dead for every 3 Lings. Feels like kind of a crazy stat in my eyes, but the SCV's on the way to go long distance mining in that bottom left corner, but in the end Oliveira is just going to say, no, no, no. This is not working. I'm a little bit too far behind. I'm in a little bit of an unrealistic position. Let's just send this through to a game 3. And Scarlet was able to really grab a map for game number 3 of this series. Can Oliveira guarantee himself first place in the group? Can Scarlet give herself a run through towards the playoffs? Again, plenty of matches to come after this match. We'll only be halfway through. We'll play the Oliveira games, but still will depend a lot on how everything else ends up. So, see what happens on the bottom left-hand side to begin with. Our red Zerg, the Shopify Rebellion, tying the series 1-1. It is Scarlet. Up against our blue Teran from Dragon Kaiser Gaming, we have Oliveira. And our third and final map comes into play right about now. Start to see how all of this will be going. Liquid Shopify series is still crazy. A lot of the series of WTL were very crazy. It's just a very good season of WTL, honestly. Some great playoff matches throughout that. Seeing ourselves a little bit of setting up right now, just have ourselves the Reaper coming up, commencing to coming through. Again, Hatch, Gas, and Pool getting established as well, so a little bit of everything on the way for the moment. To build up with our Reaper. It makes its way out down to the bottom right hand corner. Away we go. Making its way to the bottom left. Again, we are continuing with the trend of the last game, which is to not go into the multi-racks Reaper, which was what he succeeded with in the first game. Put himself in a great position, was able to close out. Not immediately after that, but at some point after that was a factor. Oh, Reaper just pokes and dances around again, trying to find some damage wherever possible. Another grenade goes down, keeping the Queen at bay for the moment as well. Just going to be having ourselves the link speed already producing through. So, this gets set to rumble. A couple of lings will make their way across. Starport will begin to build. Lings coming by. I'm just going to get in there immediately. Turn back around. Gonna see those couple lings. I'm gonna get caught actually, and that's just gonna be Oliveira able to take a bit of presence further out on the map as well. So he's gonna take some steps forwards. Ling backs away, the couple queens are gonna sit tight. All lings and queens all continuing up. Ling speed is not far from finishing. And yeah, that Liberator just about halfway done as well. A couple of Hellions still being made. And we get ourselves settled on the left side of this. Potentially push through. Again, set up. Queen still firing. Hellion still taking damage as well. So in we go. There's Hellion going down, and Reaper goes down as well. The Lings would love to turn around and get a little bit more of a catch right here. There's a couple more of those Hellions being picked off as well. And again, a bunch more drones coming out. The Queens, Overlords, etc. continue to build as well. All of that coming through. Now, this Liberator is going to go and work down to the bottom. So once again, Oliveira trying to stay pretty active with the aggression in this one. We see the couple of Eva Chambers coming up. The Ling's going to get a little bit of play onto that set of rocks as well. It's just going to knock through that for the moment. Again, barracks coming through on both sides. Queens are there. Liberator getting pushed back as well. Again, the two barracks, the two engineering base continue to produce on through for the moment. Liberator, take a few more shots. It's going to get pushed away in the end. A couple of drones going down, but again, keeping the Liberator alive is great. And that's why it's even nice of a Scar to then make sure it doesn't stay alive. Gets in, gets the denial. It will go down. It's a great grab, obviously, to be able to stop that from doing much else here. We still have the 1-1 upgrades on the way on the side of Oliveira. Getting the 1-1 coming up. That stim pack is not far from finishing. And the Bailing Nest is also currently coming up into play. That Bailing Nest coming through on Scarlet's side. Couple hatches A nest, melee upgrades. Yeah, everything coming through. Liberator works out to the right side as well. It's going to come straight across there. Siege tank looking to get established also. And we just play defensive on the third base. But this is where I worry, because it feels like right now, I understand you're waiting for Stim 1-1, etc., combat chills in 1-1, medevacs, and then you're going to start dropping and applying pressure. But man, right now it just feels as though Scarlet can get away with anything, right? Like, you look at a setup right here and it's like, okay, well, I'm already massively creeping up the middle of the map. My gold base is coming online as well. It worries me because I just can absolutely see a way in which Scarlet just runs away with this game, very similar to the last. Guess we'll see if she is able to do just that, or if, obviously, you can also question whether Oliveira can maybe do something a bit better this time around to, again, take some pressure and actually really push it further and do better with things. I mean, Bane speed's starting. It's about halfway done. Let's see, 14 more Banes building as well. 2-2s on the way out. Again, there's just so much creep spread, and Scarlet, because of that creep, is going to be able to play around it in such a marvelous way that, again, Oliveira will have to somehow figure out. It's going to keep her so very safe. Where can Oliveira feel like he can justify pushing? We're moments away now from Bane speed being done, so there's a group of Marines is not just going to be able to dance back and forth forever. Counterattack comes in. Ling's going to try and get rid of a couple of tanks. These Marines going to load back up. I feel like everything just blew up there without really being that effective at all. So Scarlet, that wasn't it. Too many tanks in position. When she saw so many units, perhaps it would have been time to immediately just pull back and reconsider her actions. Still got that 2-2 coming in. The +1 vehicle weapons coming up as well. We keep that going just for the moment here. As that Banes and our Lings continue to produce the 2-2. It's still all being brought by, and just going to be having our Marines running down to the bottom right side of the map. Also going to try and get into position to get a little extra done. Medevac's going to go peeling back once again. I'm going to pull away from this as we do get an unload happening. Ling Bane will still gather back up also. He's going to knock down this set of rocks. As we open up that set of rocks, some opportunity there as well. Keep our eyes on how exactly that looks for the next few moments. Again with that 2-2 on the way currently. We are seeing Scarlet make her way towards further and better upgrades this portion of the game. And still, like I say, controlling feels very similar to the last game at the moment. Ling Bane is going to move around the sides. Marines are going to be nearby. Ling's going to try and move through. Ling's going to come up right at the same time. There is going to be a gap in that wall, but you actually have to move through it. This is such a beautiful surround, apart from the fact that this bottom section is blocked off, so you have to go running the huge distance left and right to actually get units there, and that's where it all falls apart from Scarlet. All the units from the south that didn't get up the ramp quickly just took so many shots on the way in. Marine tank pressing through the couple libs here as well. Pressing onwards, we see the few Marines pushing across. Obviously, that was just such a bad fight for Scarlet that Oliveira is just going to come across the map and take full advantage of that. So, away we go. Lings and Banes going to come on through. Marines and tanks going to stand there and trade it out a little bit. Just see everything continue to press through. GG is going to be called. Oliveira going to be getting the 2-1 victory in this best of 3. That is going to be him guaranteed first place in this group. So Oliveira